Hello everybody and welcome for a new 3D video. This video is on Blender, so I'm trying to make some particle animations and to learn some things, because the whole point of this series is to learn or to design things in Blender. I think it's a series on Blender, so it should be to learn Blender and not like Autodesk. It should be logical, but it's my theory, so I should know that. So this is a sphere. Okay, why a sphere? Because I wanted to make some liquid spheres that fall on the ground, but I completely changed my plans when I realized that it wouldn't work, because I'm not good enough to make it work without tutorials. But I want to learn it without tutorials because it makes my brain works. Yes, it's the whole point of thinking about things, it's to make your brain work. But of course it didn't work for one reason. It's because I don't know how to use Blender. It worked with some particles, so I tried to make particles, and then it looks like a ball that is going through the air, so why not make a ball that is really going through the air? And it's like that my mind changed from making a water source to a fireball. So yes, it's a little bit like you want to design a home and you finish by designing a car, but it's still something made by humans, so it's still on the same thing. By doing this video, I learned a lot of things, and really quickly. It took me only 1 hour compared to 2 or 3 hours to watch videos and compile informations and just realize what they're telling you about. So of course this particle effect is not that fast. I used some models to try and see what was going on here, so I used the basic monkey design that is implemented in Blender by default. So yes, of course it worked, so now I know that I can use my own particles in that. So I want to make this a little bit looks like a fireball, but I realized that sculpting mod isn't my part of the cake. I don't know if this is a real English expression or just a French one that I used like here, but I am not a sculptor, I'm a 3D designer. I'm not actually, but I want to be a 3D designer, so sculpting is not the option that I should use, so it's why I will go back on layout and modeling. Before I was like, it's way better to sculpt on Blender, and now I like, it's way better to design on Blender, it works way better. Every time I say this, I think, and also it's way easier. So I started by dividing a cube, and then I realized it will take me a whole long time, so I took a sphere, not a sphere, a cylinder, and I shaped it like a bullet, and after I will just use some randomization tools to make it look like a rock, because I want it to be looking like a rock and something that is naturally floating in the sky. So I made the comet, the piece of stone that will float in the sky. I subdivided the faces to make it lots more detailed, and then I flattened it a little bit. So why it changed it in one frame? It's because I completely messed up the whole thing, and I needed to again make it from the beginning, from scratch. So I think it happens in all my Blender videos to make it from scratch, because I don't save my projects. It should be forbidden to make like I'm doing it, because I'm wasting a lot of time. But when you learn something, you aren't wasting time, you are just wasting energy from your computer, but nothing else. And the music that I'm listening is the same time that I'm recording the audio, to say, is also on the video. So it's Stardew Valley gameplay, Stardew Valley sound, if you don't knew what it was. I think it's a pretty good music. I'm always using video games music on my videos. I don't know if I can. I think I can because almost every YouTuber does that, and when I make videos on video games I had to use them, so I don't know. And by the way, if the video changed on my channel those last weeks, because I recorded that before it changed, but after it's complicated, it's because I want to orient my channel on 3D designs, so I need to slowly decrease the amount of videos on video games and increase the amount of videos on 3D design. And after I will completely erase video games from this channel or not. If you say me in the comments to not do that, but I will prefer to have two channels, one for video games and one for 3D, but obviously I only have one Gmail account and it's so complicated to swipe back on into YouTube channels and others, so I will all make on this channel. So I want to make video games because obviously I will continue to play video games, but I have an occasion this time is my parents accepted and even wanted me to change computer, because I was like, I want a new computer to design because my computer is suffering from my designs. You will see on the end of the video what made it suffer, but it was like it's a caprice in French, because I don't need that my computer is still working. It works not so great, but it works at 10 frames per second, so it's not for my eyes to see that as a video. But if I thought that I might need a better one, so maybe for the next month you will see way better quality videos. I don't know. At least this one is better than previous ones on 3 because it's way more complex. I used some RGB and texture things to make the color of the meteorite, because I want to learn all those little tips that you need to know if you want to be a Blender designer. So it's very complex, but when you know them, you practically have to paint nothing, because as you can see I never created a paint or something to put on the rock. I only made some changes between wires and else. So this, the thing, is the little bit of rock that will detach from my rocky thing, rocky fireball, meteorite, I don't know. I don't really know what it is, but it will be a part of the things that will detach from this and go floating away in the void. So I made it a little bit look like a rock, and I wanted it to look like a fire, a flame, something, but then I realized that bits of stone floating away from a big rock could not be fire, because with air, things like this, like all the balls will be replaced by that, could not be fire, because fire is not floating away like this, so it should be a part of the rock that is floating away, and the fire needs to be the thing at the end of the rock. So the tail of the rock was before meant to move a little bit like a tissue, because I didn't know how to animate that other than a soft body. It's on Blender on the options, but my computer told me no, if you do that you will have one frame generating each minute, so as a video it needs to be at least 100 frames on Blender to be at least a little bit long. I told my computer no, I can't, so I made it completely still and just animated all the other things. So as you can see, even for the background I made some texture mixtures, so it's just a noise texture but on 2 colors, on a mix thing and on outside. So if you liked the video you can tell me in comments. If you can also tell me what can I do next after that in 3D, what can help me to learn Blender faster or better. And by the way, thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing, or if you are, thank you, and most importantly, enjoy your day.